I'm switch locked and they bring in Machamp. Castform is not afraid of this thing. Powder Snow gets me to Blizzard so quickly and see you later Machamp. What's going on guys, ChillisFM here, and today I am showcasing Snowy Castform in the Open Great League. Snowy Castform is one of the top picks for the upcoming Holiday Cup. I wanted to get ahead, so I went ahead and built one and tried it out in Open Great League. I was surprised how well it did. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video if you want to see some more spicy teams that Castform can work on. Snowy Castform has a really good moveset with Powder Snow, Blizzard, and Weather Ball. Powder Snow has ridiculous energy gains, and Blizzard is one of the hardest hitting moves in the game. Not only is Weather Ball a great bait move, it also has pretty good damage per energy. This first matchup against Umbreon is a great example of how well these moves work together. I was able to bait with a Weather Ball, and now I'm going to go for the Blizzard. Let's see if this lands. Boom, it does. It chunks Umbreon. We know Umbreon is very bulky. Now I'm able to commit one shield and I'm going to be able to get to an additional Weather Ball. Umbreon has to either give up their second shield or go down. They decide to go down. Now they bring in a Mr. Mime, and honestly I'm a little bit confused, a little bit surprised. I know I don't want to bring in Deoxys against it because counters will be resisted, so I go ahead and bring in Azu and they switch into Toxicroak. Psycho Boost will be double super effective against Toxicroak, but first I have to get their shield off, so I bait with a Thunderbolt. Hopefully they give me their shield here. Let's see, do they? Yes, they do. Now I just have to get up to another Psycho Boost. I'm almost there and they throw. I'm like, well, I could shield. No, I'm going to go ahead and eat it. I'm going to go down and I'm going to save my shield for Azu. I know their Toxie is out of energy, so I farm up to 100 energy before I throw this Ice Beam. I'm not sure if Ice Beam would have been enough to take out Mr. Mime, so I go ahead and farm up to the Hydro Pump. They're throwing a move. This is what I saved my shield for. That's fine. Now I'm able to fire off this Hydro Pump, and that's a GG's. In most neutral matchups, Castform can win as long as you're able to land a Blizzard. Castform does struggle against some popular Pokemon such as Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk, but that's why I have double counters for both of those in the back. Most teams are going to have a hard counter to Azumarill, so I use Deoxys as my safe switch. My opponent stays in, so I'm going to go ahead and eat this first charge attack. It's a play rough. Now I'm expecting them to swap, so I overfarm, but they stay in, so I go for the Thunderbolt. They let it go through. That's great. I'm farming up and they go ahead and throw a charge attack. I have an opportunity to win back switch advantage, so I'm going to shield this and then I'm going to bait with the Psycho Boost. I'm hoping to get a shield right here. Let's see. Yes, they give me the shield, so I'm going to farm up to Thunderbolt. If this lands, it's going to take them out. Otherwise, I have both of their shields off. They give me their second shield, and they go ahead and swap as I land on this next Psycho Boost. Since I was already debuffed, I don't think this would have taken out Azumarill. I think this was a big misplay on my opponent's part. But hey, I'm okay with it. I'm going to preserve a little bit of health on Deoxys, and I'm going to swap into Snowy Castform. Most Hypnos are not going to be running Fire Punch, but I did shield just in case it did, and then I'm able to farm up to Blizzard. It one-shots him. Now Azu comes back out and I'm able to throw this Weather Ball at him. It's going to be taking out Azu, I believe. Yes, it takes him out and they have a Scrafty in the back. Counter is going to be doing super effective damage to Castform, but still I'm able to get to Weather Ball because Powder Snow is just such a good fast move. He throws his energy and I'm going to be able to bring in Azumarill to clean up. I do go ahead and swap in Deoxys to catch this foul play. It was completely unnecessary, but I figured it was a good opportunity to practice my sack swaps. Now I'm going to be able to just throw this final Ice Beam, and that's going to be GG's. Moving into the next matchup, I'm up against the Dream Lead. It's an Altaria. Altaria is double weak to ice, so this is a very dominating matchup for Castform. Anytime I have a dominating matchup like that and they stay in, I don't throw immediately because I'm expecting them to try to sack swap. They do just that, but I'm able to hold on to my energy and I switch into Azu. Now in order for Azu to win this, I have to properly call the Sludge Bomb. I did, and then I'm able to spam out Ice Beams. Now he's throwing a second attack. This could be a Sludge Bomb. No, it's just a Mud Bomb, so I'm good for no shielding that, and now I'm able to throw the second Ice Beam. That's going to be taking out Toxicroak. Now they bring in Galvantula. This is a really good play on my opponent's side. They're going to be able to completely farm down Azumarill and have a ton of energy. Galvantula with energy is scary. I'm going to bring back in Castform and be spamming that Weather Ball, but of course they win CMP and they're going to be able to throw a lunge at me. That's fine, I shield, I still throw the Weather Ball, it's not going to be enough to take them out, so I'm going to switch into Deoxys. I want Deoxys to soak up all of Galvantula's energy. I know Castform can deal with Altaria, I just have to get this Galvantula out the way, so I go ahead and throw this Psycho Boost. I know, it debuffs me, but that's going to be okay. They come in and they go ahead and throw their energy. That's even better. Now I'm going to go straight for this Weather Ball, and that's going to be GG's. So in that match, I was up against one of the best leads that I could possibly run into. Now I'm up against one of the worst leads that I can run into, a Kanto Rapidash. Ideally, I would want Rapidash aligned with Azumarill, but that's not going to happen. I have to safe swap into Deoxys. Rapidash is going to outpace me to charge moves, so I have to eat the first one and then I'm going to throw this Thunderbolt. They shield, I'm going to go for the Psycho Boost next. Rapidash currently has enough energy for a drill run and half of another drill run, so I'm not surprised they shield this. Now I know they have 2 charge moves ready. I'm not going to shield the first one, I'm hoping it's the Flame Charge. I'm right, it is, and I'm going to shield the second one. It's definitely going to be the drill run, assuming they have it on them. Yes, they do, so that was a good shield on my part. Let's see what else they have. They bring in a Razor Leaf Blossom, so I immediately switch into Castform. I'm switch locked and they bring in Machamp. Castform is not afraid of this thing. Powder Snow gets me to Blizzard so quickly, and see you later, Machamp. Now I do still have to deal with Blossom, but I'm able to chip away a little bit and I have an Ice Beam ready on Azu. Is this enough to take them out? No, not quite, but I'm going to be able to just bubble down after I shield this charge attack, and that's going to be another GG's. So in this match, we had a terrible lead and I had to completely sack Deoxys, but properly counting Rapidash's fast moves and being able to shield the drill run on Azu is definitely what won me the game. My next matchup is against a Whimsicott lead. This is a great lead for me, and they bring in Dugong. I'm going to switch to Deoxys because both Counter and Thunderbolt will be doing super effective damage. Dugong is going to be spamming out Icy Winds, which is going to be debuffing me. That's alright, I'm still going to go for the Thunderbolt. They shield the first one, and here comes another Icy Wind. Still, this is okay, I'm going to make it to another Thunderbolt. Even though I'm debuffed, this should take them out. Well, no, they give me their last shield. So I'm up 2 shields to 0, and I'm going to come in with Azumarill. I chose Azumarill because this Dugong might be running Water Pulse, which would be neutral to Castform, but is resisted by Azumarill. Still, they're able to pump out these Icy Winds and keep debuffing me. I'm going to throw Ice Beam at them, hoping it does at least a little bit of damage. Yeah, a little bit of damage is all that it does. That's alright. I'm going to eat one more Icy Wind, and then I'm going to swap out and farm down with Castform. Now I've maintained 2 shields, I have a lot of energy on Castform, and I've cleared the debuff that was on Azumarill. They bring in Whiscash, and you already know this Blizzard is just going to destroy this thing. I'm going to throw the Blizzard, and then I'm going to throw one Weather Ball. Had a little bit of lag there, not a big deal. This is still going to take out Whiscash, and in comes Cottonee. A Blizzard will be one-shotting this thing, but they actually are able to charm me down. Not a big deal. I'm at the Ice Beam on Azumarill, and that's going to be a GG's. I'm able to win this one without ever using a shield. Moving on, I'm up against another Azumarill lead. You know, I'm immediately going to swap into Deoxys, and I'm going to be trying to get to the Thunderbolt. They stay in for a while. I don't throw the Thunderbolt immediately, but they bring in a Galarian Stunfisk. That's pretty strange. These counters are going to be doing super effective damage, but Thunderbolt and Psycho Boost are not going to be doing anything at all. They're both resisted. I'm surprised I got a shield by them. But guys, this was day 1 battle, so not always the best players that you're up against. They might not know all the typings or all the movesets. Still, they are able to bait me with the Rock Slide, and then I don't want to give up my second shield, so they throw the Earthquake at me. That's fine, I'm at 2 more Psycho Boost. I'm going to be pumping these out. I know I had a little bit of lag. They let it go through, it did like nothing to them, but this second one will be taking them out. Now we're going to go into the Azumarill Mirror match. I apologize for the freezing here, but it's kind of crazy what happens here. He throws Ice Beam at me, and I'm thinking, okay, he's really just trying to bait off my shield, whatever. Then they throw very quickly again. It's another Ice Beam. Guys, I think this was a single moved Azumarill. Again, guys, this was day 1. Not everybody has their team completely built out. This person might have been new to PvP even. Regardless, either Hydro Pump or of course Play Rough is going to do a lot more damage in the mirror matchup, so I'm going to be able to clean this up fairly easily. Finally, they bring in Altaria. You already know Castform is going to come in. I'm going to build up to double Weather Ball, and it's going to be able to one-shot Altaria once I get that shield off. So my opponent did have a fairly meta team here, but they didn't have double moves on their Azumarill, which definitely hurt them. And then I was just able to regain the alignment that I needed with my Deoxys. In my next matchup, I'm up against another Umbreon lead. I'm going to play this exactly the same. I'm going to charge up to the Blizzard, and then I'm going to bait with the Weather Ball. They throw, and they're actually running Dark Pulse. So this hurts a little bit more than Foul Play would, so I'm going to have to shield a little bit earlier than I normally would, but that's fine. I get the bait, I get the shield, I'm almost at Blizzard, and here it is. I'm going to have to shield this one or else it would take me out. Now here comes the Blizzard. Let's see if they let it go through. Yes, they do. That puts me in a very good position. Now I'm going to be able to outpace them to this next Weather Ball. They let Umbreon go down, and I'm still pretty healthy. I'm going to get to another Weather Ball on what comes in next, which is Alolan Raichu. They have to shield that, guys, because Alolan Raichu is just so squishy. So Castform got me switch advantage, and it got both shields off my opponent. I'm in a great position, and I bring in Deoxys. I charge up a little bit, and then they bring in Altaria. This is fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Thunderbolt at them. I probably didn't have to, but whatever. I go ahead and charge up to another Psycho Boost in case I need it, and then I switch into Azumarill. Now they're throwing. I'm going to shield, and I'm going to farm up to 100 energy, and I'm going to throw. This Ice Beam is going to be taking out Altaria, and I'm going to have a lot of energy whenever Raichu comes back in. I'm able to get to another Ice Beam, and this is going to take out Raichu, so that's another GG's. Alright, so this is where my win streak comes to an end. I am going to lose this next match, but we're going to talk about what I could have done different that maybe would have won me the game. So I'm up against a Mew lead, and they farm up quite a bit. I'm thinking this might be Flame Charge. I shield, and yes, it was a Flame Charge. Now I'm at the Blizzard, but I go for the bait. I get the shield. Everything is looking good at this point. I'm farming up to Blizzard now, and I go ahead and click it, but we CMP tie. This is a bit of a problem, right? Because if I shielded, now they're going to shield to match. Alright, so I'm at the Weather Ball, but I go and I catch the Flame Charge. This looks good, right? This seems like a good plan. But Mew's going to outpace Azumarill. They're going to get to a Wild Charge now, and that's bad news for me. So now I can bring back in Castform, but basically I've lost two of my Pokemon to this Mew. Castform was such low health, I had to just throw whatever I had whenever the next Pokemon came in, which was Azumarill, and it really just absorbs it. But that's okay, I'm able to bring in Deoxys now, and I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt. Remember, shields are down, this is going to do a lot of damage to them, it is super effective, and there's not anything that they can do to one-shot me. They throw an Ice Beam, that's okay, I'm going to get up to another Thunderbolt. So this is going to take out Azumarill, it just kind of matters what they have in the back. Their final Pokemon is Skarmory. If I can get to Thunderbolt, it will be doing super effective damage, but we CMP tie. That's going to be taking out Deoxys, and that's going to be a GG. My opponent definitely outplayed me there. Alright, so I have two more matches to showcase with this team, and then I'm going to show some other teams that work very well with Snowy Castform. But if you've made it this far, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and that like button. It helps me out a lot, and if you leave a comment down below, it helps the YouTube algorithm as well and will get this video recommended to more people. Alright, so against Pelipper, again this is another neutral matchup, so if I can land a Blizzard, I'm going to be okay here. I did get the shield bait with the initial Weather Ball, so the Blizzard does land, and in comes Umbreon. I'm able to get to a Weather Ball. This is good. This is going to be doing a little bit of chip damage to this Umbreon. I almost get to a second one, but I don't. That's fine. Azu's going to come in, and then they bring in Stunfisk. Interesting swap there, but I guess it does make sense. That's okay. I'm going to bring in Deoxys. Again, these counters are going to be doing super effective damage. My charge moves aren't going to be doing much, but it does help a little bit, and I do actually get a shield there. Very interesting. I know my opponent is likely to throw an Earthquake here, but that's okay. I want to save my shield for Azumarill. I'm still able to get to a Psycho Boost, which is going to do a little bit of chip damage, and it's going to allow Azumarill to come in and just bubble it all the way down. They do throw a charge attack. In case it's the Earthquake, I do throw up a shield. It's just a Rock Slide, not a big deal. I have a Hydro Pump ready to go for this Umbreon. Again, Umbreon is very beefy. This isn't going to be enough to take it out, but that's fine. I'm going to be able to get to another Ice Beam, and they're just throwing Dark Pulses at me anyways. I guess they did not have Last Resort on this Umbreon. Yeah, at this point, I just go ahead and bubble them down because I realize there's really nothing that they can do. Moving into the final matchup, I'm up against a terrible lead. It's a Alolan Marowak with Fire Spin on it. It's going to be melting my Castform. So I swap into Deoxys. It's really not a good answer because I am weak to Ghost type attacks. They throw a Shadow Bone, it does a lot to me, and then they bring in Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is going to be resisting my Thunderbolt. That's fine. I'm just going to let it take me out, and I'm going to bring back in Castform. I'm going to get as much energy as I can on this Castform, and I'm going to go ahead and eat what I think is a Power Whip. Yes, it's a Power Whip. Not a big deal, and then I eventually do have to throw my energy before they get to another Power Whip. As expected, they bring back in Marowak, so I have to switch into Azumarill. Now, they switched late, so they're locked in for just a little bit longer. They do hit me with a Shadow Bone, which hurts. That's okay, I wanted to save my shields, and then they bring in Alomomola. Guys, if I say that right throughout this whole video, definitely leave a thumbs up because that is so hard for me to say. Alomomola. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't actually even know. Either way, guys, this is going to be very tough for me to pull off at this point. Nothing I can do is even neutral against them. I do swap and I'm going for the Blizzard, which will be doing substantial damage, but they block it, of course. So now I'm going to go for the Weather Ball. They give me their second shield, so maybe there's a little bit of a chance, but I'm not able to get to another move, and now I'm going to have to use my last shield on this Alomomola. They throw Psychic. I'm going to go ahead and go for Ice Beam, hoping that it takes them out because I have to have some energy for when Marowak comes back in. No, it's not enough, and they're able to get to another Psychic with 1 HP left, so that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Alolan Marowak is definitely hard for this team to overcome. I have done it after this set a few times, but like I said, it's very challenging for this team. So there you have it, 8-2 in the first 2 sets that I used this team. Now let's look at some not so meta picks that pair well with Snowy Castform. On all 3 teams, I kept Castform as the lead. I think it performs the best as a lead. In this team, I paired it with a Meganium safe switch and a Mantine in the back. You will definitely want Bubble on your Mantine because you need it to handle the fire types, such as the Alolan Marowak. Meganium does have Earthquake, which can help with the fire types, but ultimately it is weak to fire. I also played 2 sets with this team and I went 3-2 on both of those. I know that doesn't sound too convincing, but I have terrible IVs on both my Mantine and my Meganium, so I think with better IVs I would have won quite a few of those other matches. This team is versatile enough that you can definitely turn around some lost leads. For example, in this matchup that I'm showing in the background, I was up against an Obstagoon lead, which is terrible for Castform, but I'm able to turn it around and end up getting the win. Alright, so my final team has Alomomola in the back, and I have Hypno as my safe swap with Focus Blast. I haven't been able to land a Focus Blast yet, but I'm thinking that people are probably going to switch in Stunfisk against it, and it's going to land, and it's going to feel so good. This team has a lot of bulk, so you can take a lot of charge attacks without really worrying about things. So you do have to make some smart plays, but I was able to go 5-0 in my first set with this. I haven't got to play more than just the 1 set with this team so far, but I do plan on bringing it back throughout the season, and I will definitely post on my Twitter and my Instagram as to how that's going. So if you want to know more about this team, make sure you're following me on my socials. Alright guys, so that's it for today. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. This is ChillisFM wishing you good luck in your battles.